All right, I titled this video "How to Build or How to Raise an Athlete." Hopefully, you get some attention of the parents that follow us. And I love this time of year because it's kind of transitioning from one sport to the next. So guys are really they're reaping the rewards of all the hard work they put in, and girls, in the off season, the end of the season for fall sports, you got championship games. You see how well people did or didn't do. You see how hard the athletes worked in the off season for the winter sports going forward now. And I've trained probably thousands of athletes over the past 10 to 12, 13 years, I guess. And I see what works and what doesn't. I know what worked for me as an athlete growing up and what didn't. So I just want to kind of brush up on the different age ranges and talk about what to do to kind of put your athlete on the right track for success. So age 5 to 10, I know it's a big range, but at this point in time, those kids should be, the first thing they should be doing is learning to be committed to consistently working hard. So the three things: consistency, commitment, hard work. They need to learn that stuff early because it gets very hard to learn that as they get older. If they can learn it early, they're gonna be better off. So teach them to be consistent, teach them to be committed and not quit. Too many kids quit sports because they're not starting, they're not getting playing time. Like, you don't just quit the team because you're a team member. You don't just quit because you played 3 innings today instead of 6 innings. Like, you got to stick through that stuff. They need to learn that, especially at a young age. Too many kids, even in high school, like, I'm a sophomore, I ain't starting, so screw this shit, man, I quit. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Even seniors, they quit. They quit the team. They did all that work all 4 years, and then they quit at the end of the year. It's retarded to me. Anyway, so commitment and hard work. Learn to work hard. Like, they're not going to get far in sports or in life in general if they're not learning hard work. And everybody knows this. So that really leads me into the next thing. You got to learn to love the process. So the kids that fall in love with the process of becoming a better athlete, they do the best, doesn't matter what sport they play. They don't need to learn to love necessarily one specific sport, but they need to learn the process of practicing and training and just refining their skills and working hard. They need to kind of learn the process of becoming better. The people that take sports the furthest, they love that. They love, the season's over, it's off season. Now I can actually get better. I can work on my skills. Okay. Or my body, whatever it may be. So the next thing would be healthy habits. You got to learn healthy habits at a young age. Too many parents eat shit and then they feed their kids shit. I'm going to put it out there. They eat shit and they feed their kids shit. And then they say, well, they get mad if I don't give them this. Well, that's because you gave them this shit their whole lives and now you're trying to change it. Like, you got to start at a young age. And being active. So healthy habits, eating good and being active. A lot of kids I see that I train, like, they'll go to practice. Yeah, they'll go to practice for an hour or two and then they'll go home and they'll play video games the rest of the time. They're not active. They're not playing. You just got to learn to be healthy and be active and eat good. And that leads me to the next thing. Play unorganized sports. Playing unorganized sports allows you to learn athletic skills that you wouldn't be able to learn when you're playing in an organized team setting with a coach or trainer and bearing down on you and telling you this is wrong, that's wrong, do this, do that. They need to learn to play loose, free, and that's how they learn athleticism. That's how they do things that, I can't do that, and they just try and try and try and try, and that's how they really get good at stuff. So play unorganized sports, play multiple sports. At this age, 5 to 10, try everything. Football, soccer, baseball, softball, basketball, field hockey, ice hockey, lacrosse, wrestling. They can go do odd sports like surfing or skating. Any of this stuff works. Have fun. That's at this age, you need to learn to have fun. If they're not having fun, they're not going to really learn to love the process of all this stuff. They need to have fun. A lot of teams and parents and coaches, they make it so it's not fun. They need to have fun. Develop all-around athleticism. So all this stuff kind of ties into, good, hard work and good healthy habits, playing multiple sports, playing unorganized sports, having fun, learning to work hard, all this goes into basically building an all-around base of athleticism, becoming a good all-around athlete. They don't need to be specific to like a pitcher when they're 6 years old. You don't know if they're going to be a pitcher. They might not even like baseball. That might not be what they excel in by the time that they're 13, 14, 15, 16. So let them do everything. Try everything. Become good athletes. Just build a base of athletes. They could do training stuff, especially like if they're not active outside the house and whatnot. So if they're not playing a lot, yeah, they could train places. We don't usually take kids that young, but they could go train. They should be, the one thing that's important at this age is to learn to run and sprint. Learn sprint mechanics, learn how to run properly, jump, things like that. If they do that, they'll be much better off when they're older because they'll already have that in them. They're not going to be like running improperly for 13 years and then all of a sudden, or 17 years, then trying to learn it. So they'll already have that. Okay, now 11 to 13, more like the middle school age. We're going to go in and now we're going to begin to become a little bit more organized. Find out, at this point in time, you need to find out what they're good at. So, obviously someone who excels in cross country probably is not going to be very good at the 100-meter dash. Or someone that excels in cross country probably will not be very good in football. You need to learn if they're a fast twitch guy or girl, or if they're going to be a little bit more oxidative, slow twitch, or more of an endurance athlete. You got to kind of find, at this point in time, you're going to find what they're going to excel at. They should still play multiple sports and have fun. They're still young, so they're still working hard. This is where they can start to train. This is where we like to take kids into training. 10, 11, 12 is a good age, depending upon their maturity level. And learn the fundamentals of strength training. Again, they're not going to put a barbell on their back when they're 10 years old, but they're going to learn how to squat properly, do push-ups, pull-ups, core work, jumping, sprinting. They're going to learn to run properly. That can start even earlier, like I said. But again, at this age, 11, 13, they need to be developing that general physical preparedness that I talk about a lot. It's called GPP. They need to build a base of physical fitness and learn fundamentals of training now. They need to learn to run. If they're not learning to sprint at this point in time, they're going to be really behind the 8 ball when they get to high school, if they're playing sports where sprinting is important. And most sports it is, besides maybe wrestling. But even that, if you can get like those guys to become polished athletes with that type of thing, they're going to be even better off. Now in high school, now you're refining. Okay, you don't have to do one sport necessarily or 2 sports. You could do 1, 2, 3 sports, whatever you feel like you need to do. But now you're refining skills. You really get behind the 8 ball if you come into like a training facility when you're 17 and you don't know how to sprint. You've never lifted weights. It just takes so long to kind of build that. The process takes a while to learn that stuff and to get to the point where, to get a year underneath them where you're really training hard and you're really, developing maximal strength and explosive strength, and you're not just learning movements now. So if you get to high school and they have already learned movements, they have that base, now you're really refining skills, sports skills, and you're really refining their strength and conditioning and their explosiveness, their sprinting, their speed training. You're going to be good. You're going to be way above, way past the average athletes. I bring this up also because I'm thinking we just had a kid. We've had multiple kids in our sophomore year. Sophomore kid in the gym squatted 495 pounds. He's been training since he was 11 or 12. So it gives him 6-7 years. He's been just consistently, not every day. His dad's not pushing him, bringing him in every day, but he's consistently just 1-2 days a week, sometimes 3, but 1 or 2 days a week for years on end. And now, when it matters most now, he's polished. He's refined. He's going to be a polished athlete when he graduates high school. He already is. Even if he doesn't get any stronger, he's already there. And he will, and he'll be a beast. But, if you come in... Now, if he was coming in at this age, yeah, we could work with him for the next couple of years and get him a lot better, for sure. But his ceiling is going to be lower. Their ceiling is going to be lower. So it's important to think about that age, 11, 12, 13, you got to start, they have to learn the basics at that age. If not, they're going to be behind the 8 ball when they're older. Again, I hope that helped you. I know for me personally, what helped me a lot was in, that age, like, 12, 13, I loved basketball and I would just jump constantly. Jump, jump, jump. I bought plyometric programs. And by the time I was eighth grade, I was hanging on the rim, dunking mini balls and stuff like that. And as, a 5'10" or 5, probably in eighth grade, I was probably 5'8", 5'9". That's phenomenal. It gave me explosive strength that I had for the rest of my life. It took me into high school and college and allowed me to play sports and take it much further than I would have had I not developed that at 12, 13 years old or younger, when you're moldable, right? So, again, I hope that helps. So if you have any questions, let me know. Give me a shout, and good luck.